And test, test, test. Oh, my mic ain't working. Test. Oh, there it goes. All right. So, can you guys hear me? Hey, can you guys hear me? I'm just making sure. So I got my printers going, so I want to make sure you guys can hear me. Yep. Okay. Now, am I too loud or am I too quiet? Great. So this is what I need to know, guys. As you can read, I don't know if you guys saw the post, but I need some advice. And my advice that I need is actually for you guys. So for this new season 6 of Pinche Al's Garage, I need to figure out if I should monetize my videos, in other words, cram commercials in there, or no monetizing and add my sponsors commercials built into the video so you guys don't have to worry about clicking and skipping. Number one, I lose out in the $80 a month that I get from YouTube. Okay, so I don't get anything from that. Or I actually use my built-in sponsors. So the way that's going to work is number one, you'll be watching a video, and then I'll go brought to you by, and then I'll make a little segment, a little 30-second, 20, 30-second video about the products that we're working on or using during the video. So I just need some of your guys' advice because I want to make sure that we all have a very, very good experience with my DIY videos. And yes, Crazy Kev monetizing, there is no money anymore in it. However, 80 bucks a month for me is like, hey, I can go buy a couple rolls of, plastic material. I can buy some memory cards and stuff that I need for my channel. Um, that's what I'm here for. So, I this is my question to you guys, and then no, actually, I get nothing from my sponsors, and actually, I haven't gotten anything from my sponsors to begin with, besides a couple bucks off here and there on some stuff. Um, there's other things, there are other logistics behind it, but I'm here more to promote products. Um, Probably because number one, I love using all the stuff that I've been using now. Number two, um, it's I think it's a step in the right directions for the manufacturers and for the companies that I work for. Not work for, but for the products that I use, and maybe they might enjoy what I do, and then I might get more. They might end up, giving me more products and having me do more DIYs for their specific products. The question is, should I? Should I be more invested into making those things for you guys and for myself? It's kind of like a win-win for both of us because what I will be sharing with you is actually relevant to what I'm doing. It won't be an irrelevant product. So, for example, I'll be working on the Mark II. Yeah, you saw the new products that I got from Fabulous Manufacturing. I will make while I'm working, and I'll be working on a specific product. I'll just branch off for a second using the same product, but showing you and giving you guys a description of the company and the manufacturers and what they do. Pretty straightforward. And again, back to work. That's it. No monetizing, so you guys don't have to worry about waiting for a stupid commercial and trying to hit next, or no option for skipping. Um, that way, number one, you guys can actually fast forward through that if you want to, which is a big benefit. Number two, you actually can watch a product that's relevant to the video. I think that's kind of a win-win. I won't just randomly cram, hey, here's a watch of a company, and then I'm talking about car stuff. Mm, yes, I can choose what videos I would like to monetize. You know, if there's a video that has nothing to do with any of my sponsors, that might end up being monetized, just for the fact that it would probably be a better solution for me. Um, but for my big DIYs, the ones that really matter, I'm not going to monetize because number one, for your guys' benefit, it will prevent skipping or waiting for stupid commercials. Because you'll know where they're at, and you'll be watching a video, and you're like, "Oh, there's a commercial," and stop you in some spots. I think that's really annoying. I'd rather have you guys choose when to stop, when to play, and not worry about a stupid commercial. You guys tell me. I need your guys' advice on this. Either way, hi Jonathan. Hey, look at AC 130. What's going on? How's it going, Crazy Kev 220? What's going on? And anybody else that's on there, hello, hello. Once we answer this question, I want to talk to you guys today. I want you guys to get pumped because two big things are happening next month. What's going on, Alan? Two very big things. Number one, obviously, season 6 of Pinche Al's Garage is going to get launched. Number two, we have a new contest. Um, so it's pretty exciting because we're going to have a lot of new stuff. We're going to give away a lot of cool stuff um, for the next contest. So I know you guys are always pumped for a contest, and you guys are always pumped for Mark IV stuff. So yeah, what's going on, Jose Hernandez? What's going on? So I'm excited, and I hope you guys get excited because it'll be freaking dope for the contest. I'm calling it the Stance and Enhance Mark IV contest. And yes, I got some good feedback from you guys, and I will make it for a GTI or a Jetta. So one or the other. Whoever wins gets to choose what body parts they're gonna want for their GTI or Jetta. Monroe, what's going on? By the way, hi. And yes, I agree. Go with my gut, but it's not what I care about. It's what you guys want. My channel has always been about you guys, not about me. I just film this stuff, so I want you guys to be a part of it, and I want you guys to be involved because this channel is evolving with you guys, not with me. I just do the work, I do the DIYs, and then you guys be a part of it. And then you guys win stuff, obviously, but that's a whole different thing. Um, okay, I like that. I like that information. Hey, look at AC 130. I like that. I mean, I think I think everyone agrees. Monetizing is annoying. I really don't like monetize. I don't like monetizing my videos, but that little chunk of change that I've been getting every month has helped me a lot. You'd be surprised at how much that actually helps. For $80, or actually, hold on, let me correct myself. Uh, Let me see how much I got this month. And you guys, I'm being honest with you. So okay, here, even less. Um, that's my dashboard, and you'll see right here. It's $74.47, 41 cents. There you go. That's what I've gotten this month. you know, and a lot of people are like, "Oh man, you should be making money and rolling in the dough." No, I make $74 this month on everything I do. Why do you think I push 3D printing? I push my stickers, my lanyards, my shirts, maybe sweatshirts. I'm not 100% sure on that. Mm, so much work to do one of those. It's not fun. But, you know, I honestly want you guys to have a much better experience watching my channel versus dealing with commercials. I understand it's what you expect, aka, hey, look at AC 130. That's what he says, and they are annoying. Um, but the issue is, I don't. I work a lot doing this stuff. To like yesterday, I put in almost 12 hours working on my Mark II, and I woke up at 8 in the morning, and then stopped around. I don't even know when I stopped, and it's just one of those things. It's like I didn't get paid to do that. I had to do everything, and then it's a work day for me. I understand it's a passion and stuff like that, but buying car parts is not cheap. Number one, and then when you guys ask for more DIYs, number one, I gotta have a problem on my card to do the DIY, or just buy the part to do the DIY, even though I don't need to do the DIY. You know what I mean, guys? It's That's where it becomes the complications, for my situation, because I do everything surely out of passion, and I want I don't want free money. I want to work for my money, and I work a lot for my money that I do receive. Again, buying stickers, buying sweat, whatever you guys buy from me, that goes 100% towards the YouTube channel. And that's why I'm trying to figure out a way to make everything harmony, yin and yang. I want the best of both sides, but more for you guys and less for me. The only thing I want for myself is you guys being happy. I want you guys to understand that I do everything I can for you guys to keep coming back to what I do and enjoying what we do. You guys, I don't know if you guys saw that, but oh man, uh, give me a second here. I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram or on uh, Facebook, but where is it? Oh no! Oh, here it is. But I just finished the Corrado's engine bay. I wet sanded it. I know it's hard to tell on the picture, but it's a Black Magic Pearl, so it's a Volkswagen color code, fully shaved. Oh my god! If you guys saw this in the light, it is ridiculous. It's so glittery. Uh, for zero, do you think an Evo 10 spoiler would fit on a Mark IV? If it did, don't do it anyways. That thing's ugly. You don't put a spoiler on the Jetta, man. You put a lip. You put a lip on that on the back trunk. That's it. That's all you need to put on there. Whether or not if you like that stuff, more power to you, zero. But here in the Volkswagen world, we don't put wangs. We don't put wangs on our cars. You know, sorry, but more power to you if you enjoy it, man. More power to you. Yeah, no big wang gang, yeah. No big wangs. We ain't doing that. um, so again, T Jerk, keep it up. Like your posts. Thank you, T Jerk. Appreciate it. Either way, welcome Zero. Sorry about saying that, but welcome. So yes, back to what we're talking about. I want to make sure everybody's happy. I want to make sure that you guys keep coming back and enjoying what I do. Um, my eventual goal for my YouTube channel is to become so popular that I actually want to do a really cool cross country DIY. It's weird, but oh, nice. I live in Escondido too, Zero. um, and what I mean by a cross country DIY, Right cheats. Thank you. I like that comment, sir. Thank you. Um, I want to do a cross country DIY, and what I mean by that, I want to pack up Filbert and Heifer, pack them up with some tools, some jack stands, a jack, everything that I need to do repair work on a car, especially Mark IVs. Travel the U.S. and film DIYs at your guys' house. How dope would that be? You know, I think that'd be super cool. Just go to hit up a. You guys tell me where you guys live. Drive cross country. You need help pulling the motor. Let me come over. You have the cherry picker, and we do a DIY. Why not? That'd be so dope. Just to come over and hang out with my buddies, hang out with my YouTubers, um, everything, and then make a DIY with you guys. Finish it, call it a day. Find another person, drive that way, and have fun. I think. Greetings from Holland. Zero blue smoke means bad turbo. No, it means a lot of different things. It could be bad valves. So the valve, your valves on your head or the valve guides might be leaking oil and you're getting exhaust in there. Number two, you can have a leaky valve cover. And what happens is that it's probably going into that. So that can happen too. What else is there? You can have a bad turbo. Um, oh, yeah. My passport is definitely up to date, sir. I can travel anywhere right now. I got another 3 more years with it. So I'm fine. Um, uh, what else can be blue smoke? Ooh, trying to think here. Um, oh, you can had a bad head gasket. That can also be it. Have oil leaking into the pistons through the guides, through the channels. I'm sorry, in the head and the block, and that can give you blue smoke. So it could be a couple things. Unfortunately, that's a hard one to diagnose. What you want to do is um, maybe first check all your gaskets, look for any oil leaks, and fix those first, and see where you're at. If you think it's the turbo leaking, um, turn on the car really quick in the morning, let it warm up a little bit, turn it off, pull the downpipe out, and see if there's like oil in there in the actual downpipe. You might actually have a leaky downpipe. Oil in the downpipe because that's where the smoke is coming from. Um, you can also take off the intake tube, and you can also see if there's any oil for that inside, like the intake. If it's like covered in sludge, it's pretty common. One thing that's also super common is that since we have 1.8Ts or turbo engines, they don't have catch cans. So what happens? Your crankcase and your breather valve on top go in, and then they accumulate in the actual all those fumes and oil accumulates in the intercooler. And what happens, if you're driving it really hard, some of that oil will kind of suck into the intake manifold and cause blue smoke. Pull the intercooler out, drain the intercooler, put it back in, clean everything else out, stops the blue smoke. 1.8Ts or cars with turbos is a very notorious problem over time, especially if they're really old cars. Hey, how's it going, Paul? Just joined the conversation. The best way for a boost leak? Super, super easy, Paul, and cheap. If you already have an air compressor, perfect. All you need to do is find some spray can caps. If you can find any spray can caps from your rattle cans, I don't have anything in here, but if you can find a spray can cap, those actually fit exactly the same size as the boost hoses on the turbo side, because you have to take the turbo where the intercooler is at, not the charge pipe, the turbo and the neck. Take that hose off, cap that. On the intake manifold side, there's a hose right there. Pop that off, cap that as well. Now find a vacuum line within those pipes, fill it up with air. Make sure you put it on low pressure, so if you have a pressure regulator, um, turn the pressure down to about 5 to 7 psi. Fill it in with pull one of the vacuum lines out and pressurize it through that hole. Do that, and then listen for hisses, and then that's how you do a vacuum leak. Super quick, super easy, easy fix. Let's see here, Jordan Gonzalez. How's it going, Jordan? Welcome to the tonight's. I did my SAI delete thanks to you and your video. So much support to your channel, but it's running my boost off direct pressure and giving the shutter noise bad for my turbo or just being recirculated. Uh, awesome, Paul. Hopefully that works out for you. It's super easy. I actually have a DIY for that, and it corrupted. The moment I was not uploading it, but importing it into my video editing software, I imported it, and it just ruined the entire file. I was so pissed about that. So I have to make a new one. I actually have to find a stock Mark IV because I really want to do that with a stock car, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And then I'll do it on my car since it's all like deleted and everything. And it's actually easier on a deleted car, but just to show you guys on that too. Um, for Jordan's question, you did the SAI delete and you have a shutter noise. If you have a shutter noise, it could be one of two things. Number one, your the way that you routed number one your PCV hose is probably still routed into the intake manifold, so there's probably a boost leak there, and you probably didn't use the PCV valve to prevent it from going back into the system. So you're getting, when you go whoosh, and you're probably getting more like a flutter. Now, if you're getting flutter noise, it could be a couple things. Number one, there's a vacuum leak or AKA a boost leak, and you got to find that and eliminate it. So do that first. If you're recirculating, doing the diverter valve, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But you need to make sure when you did the SAI delete, there's a couple lines, vacuum lines and vacuum boost hoses that are there that need to be repaired or clogged up. I can probably almost guarantee you probably have a really bad idle. So your idle's like like everywhere. It's moving everywhere, and it's probably because you have a leak somewhere, and that's your problem, Jordan. Paul, another thing. I'm going to be cleaning up and painting my intake manifold and valve cover. How many coats would you recommend? Ooh, that's a good question. Very, very good question. Number one, what are you going to do to the valve cover? Are you going to sand it down? Are you going to use a wire wheel? Um, what kind of look are you trying to get? And this is what I mean. Give me a second here. This right here. Hey, banging. How's it going? This right here is what we call a smooth valve cover. You know what's cool about this? You buy it exactly like this. Super flat, super smooth. This is a European valve cover. You'll see the hoses are also in the wrong spot. They're not wrong spot, but they're a different spot than a normal Mark IV in the US. These you can buy online for about $100, $20, $30 shipped to you. Um, Number one, it's a lot less work. I'll tell you that. Uh, and if you're thinking about polishing, this is hands down the best version to buy to polish. The reason being for that, on the stock Mark IVs, they have the little indentations in here for the coil packs, and they have more holes. So the issue with that is you're gonna want to sand and grind that down, and it's gonna cause some damage. They actually get really, really thin and I've seen people sand these down too much where they actually go through the valve cover. So it's something you really want to consider. This is what we call a smooth European valve cover. It's the best option to get. Highly recommend this. It's also a lot less work. If you're going to stick with the stock Mark IV cover, um, US spec, then what you want to do is get a wire wheel and you remove all the burr that's on the actual valve cover. You'll see it looks like veins. They almost look like little veins. How's it going, Smooth 102? What's going on? Wife is doing great. Um, Baby's kind of doing her thing and bothering the crap out of her, but besides that, she's doing very good. Um, so that's what you got to think about. Yeah, this is a nice old headset. So for Paul's question, you really want to, if you just want to clean it up, then use a wire wheel and use a fine, not a coarse wire wheel, but use a fine one. And that way it'll smoothen out the top as best you can to clean the surface as best you can. And then grab some sandpaper and then just finish off the surface to get it ready for paint. Once you have it all smoothened out for paint, you want to buy something what we call etching primer. Okay, that primer sticks to raw metal. Even though aluminum is not corrosive, it does tarnish. So what happens with paint like that, it will give you a weird. He has access to a sandblaster, and freaking that saves all the work. So, but either way, going back to the valve cover, use etching primer. Spray that whole sucker down with 1 to 2 coats of primer, and then when you're done with primering, you want to grab like a 2,800 grit sandpaper and smoothen out that, and then clean the surface, tack it down with a towel to clean it off, and then paste. Then do paint. Now you want to do high temperature enamel paint. Um, Usually with an enamel paint, you want about 3 to 4 coats of paint. Now, depending on the type of paint you use, some of it comes with the clear coat mixed in. You're done with that. Don't add any extra clear coat. You can, but there's a process for that. So, say if you are going to add a clear coat to it, once you the paint, you can't let the paint dry fully. Just FYI, you have to let it dry up for about 5 to 10 minutes, and immediately go with it with a coat of clear, one super light coat of clear. Don't worry about covering everything. Just do a light coat of clear. Let it dry for about 10 to 15 minutes, in sunlight or not. It's up to you. And then immediately go with another coat of clear. And that time, with that on coat of clear, you should be able to do a heavy coat, and then that's it. You put it away and wait a couple days. You cannot touch it. Okay. So that'll be your process for your valve cover. Just FYI. Now for Smooth 1002. Yo, yo, yo. What's good, cuz? Always good to see you helping the VW community. Thank you. And I'm always here, glad to help everybody in the community. Um, for banging, good to hear. I have access to a sandblaster if anybody else needs one. I love sandblasters. For Keep Fight 10, Turbo Toaster. What's up? Hey, is the online store back up and running? Yes, it is for Smooth 1002. It has been actually for for quite a long time. Um, for hey, look at AC 130. Um, you have any suggestions for wider fenders or a wide body kit? Hmm, that is a very, very good question. Now, this is my question to you. Are you stancing the car, or are you gonna actually use the body kit correctly? Come on, give me an answer, Smooth 1002. Oh, not Smooth. Sorry. Hey, look at AC 130. For okay, so you want actual wide wheels on the car, but are you stancing the car, or are you actually going to use the car for its purpose for going wide body? That's my question to you, AC 130. For Cole Francom, okay, I'll answer your question right now, Cole. Okay, so you're going to use it. Don't buy a wide body kit. Number one, if you what size wheels are you trying to put in the front? AC 130. Are they 12s as well, 12-inch wide? Because holy mackerel, I don't even know how you actually going to clear it. Freaking spacer probably that gigantic, but what size are the front and the rear? I need to know. Oh, okay. So 12 inches squared. It's doable. It's doable. Now, this is my question. I'm gonna give you my advice, but be careful for the front and for the rear. Exactly. Lots of cutting. You're gonna learn how to cut like no tomorrow. But there's a company. I forgot the name of the company, but you're probably gonna want to use Datsun fender flares. Okay, Google it. I forget the name of the company, but you can look it up. Google Datsun fender flares. They're ridiculously wide. Um, but what you're gonna it's gonna be a trial and error scenario. This is what's gonna happen. For the rears, you won't need that much of a wide fender flare. The front is where it's gonna be funny, and it's gonna be shitty because your front will stick out substantially more than the rear because the the cars it's weird the way that our car stands out. So yeah, but look up Datsun fender flares, like aftermarket fender flares. They're the best option for Mark IVs if you really want to cram legitimate wide wheels to use them. Okay. In all honesty, I'd probably get rid of those wheels and probably do 10-inch all around. 12, I think, is a little wide track, and to be honest with you, it's just because your turning radius is going to be horrendous on that. Tens you can do with no problems. 12s, I don't know how you're going to get that to turn in any way nicely. To be honest with you, I don't care what offset you're going to be running; it's going to be pretty rough. Um, because you're going to legitimately cram RPF ones already have a extremely high offset. So you're going to cram a spacer that's I don't even know. I don't even know how that's going to work. So um, yeah, but the Datsun fender flares, aftermarket fender flares, you'll be able to find those. Okay, so for Cole Francom, sorry if I ruin anybody's names. I'm not the best at names. Cole Francom. I have an '89 Cabrio having warm start issues. I can't get it. Well, what ignition or fuel system does your car use? Does it have a Digifont or direct fuel injection? Not direct, but fuel injected, like intake manifold. I need to know what kind of fuel injection system does that car run. Hi, everybody else that's joining. Yeah, I mean, CIC. Okay, so damn, I suck at those injection systems. Um, you know what I'm gonna need to do? I'm gonna have to probably consult my Ray Ray. Um, I need you, hey Cole. I need you to hit me up on Facebook and get with me on Facebook. Message me, PM me, and send me a PM and message me, and I'll get Ray to help me answer your question as best we can. All I can really tell you is any car in general that has a really crappy cold start, like a really rough idle, and it just wants to die, 90% of the time, it's never dealing with the fueling system. It's always dealing with vacuum lines because cars in the 80s were horrendous for vacuum systems, especially in Volkswagens. They are horrendous for the vacuum line system. So I would definitely start there. But like I said, take what I'm saying take it like with a grain of salt, man, because I suck at those systems. Um, that's why my Mark II is being swapped because, uh, yeah, no. So, fine, like I said, Cole, find me on Facebook, send me a message, and then I'll talk to Ray. Ray's my Mark II guru, and he loves those engines. He'll give me some more advice for you. Okay, hopefully that works, man. Anybody else? Anybody else got some more questions? Thank you, Cole. I'll hear from you soon. And I'd like I said, I'll do the best I can to help you. Miguel Silva. Oh, excuse me, guys. Excuse me. So I did a 6-speed swap and a new 034 Motorsports motor mounts on my MK4. Now I have some serious rattling on my whole dash. Can I view the motor mounts? What motor mounts did you use? And for banging, what are you trying to do with the wheels? Are you trying to stretch the tires? Or you want like proper tire size? And for Miguel, which 034 motor mounts did you get? Like they have different style 030. They got like street density, track density, and race density. Which versions did you get from them? Okay, so for banging, you're looking at proper tire fitment. That's a perfect tire size. That's a very, very good tire size for that size wheel. 225 has actually no stretch on an 8-inch wide wheel, so you'll be fine. What, Miguel? You don't even know what you bought, bro? How you not like you buy something and then like know what you bought? That's like usually when I buy something, like, oh, I got this part number and all that. Look at that! Oh my god! I'm giving you, I'm just busting your balls, dude. Especially with you. For Jordan Gonzalez, you want to go to airlift? What's your budget? Answer my question first. Um, for an ET30, you might need maybe a 5 mil, 8 mil tops, if that, because at a 35, I think I rocked on my front of my car with my um with my excuse me, with my race line yeah, with my race line airbags. I think I put on a 10 millimeter spacer, and it was already more than enough. So yeah, 1,200 to $2,000. Okay, easy, easy solution. Okay, number one. All right, Paul, give me just a minute, okay? So I'm going back to Jordan's question. Um, so you have about 1,200 to $2,000. You got two options, okay, Jordan. Jordan, option number one: shop around for a used set. I guarantee you, there's a Mark IV guy out there, and he's selling his used kit. More than enough money to buy a used kit. Usually, a used kit's $1,200 to $1,400. Done. Buy it. All you're gonna need to do is buy new airline, and that's it. So that's one option. Option number two: piece together a kit. Now, are you trying to are you trying to If you're trying to stay under 2,000 with all new stuff, there's a little bit. I need you to answer that question. If you're okay, so Miguel Silva, he got the density line. Um, yeah, those are stiff. So yeah, your car is gonna rattle like a mother. Okay, so I'm just gonna tell you, you should see my car. My car is just like the whole hood and my front bumper sounds like crap. It's normal, dude. And more than likely, you've never tightened the bolts down on your dash, so they're probably a little loose. It's probably time to actually take your interior apart and start tighten things down to stop the rattling. Maybe add some dynamat behind the dash to stop it completely. Pull the dash out and do it. That's what I would do if you want to stop the rattle completely. Just like Cole saying, you can find used kits pretty cheap. Now, if you want to buy new, exactly, the dog bone, that's all you need, and it makes the whole car rattle. If you got stiff bushings for motor mounts and the freaking dog bone, the whole car is gonna rattle. But it's great. I love it. It's a great feeling. But back to Paul's. Now, if you don't care about the management as much, um, and you still want to save some money, but and you want to save some money, but you're okay with maybe old school stuff. Um, for Paul, I would do a manual bag setup. And what's cool about having a manual bag setup, number one, um, you can evolve with that bag system. It's super cheap, and you can add later more to it if you really want to go to digital management, auto lift, auto drop, all that stuff down the road. Um, I built my friend's airbag system for under what I think $1,500. I think when I was done, brand new, everything brand new. Okay, 5 gallon air tank, nice seamless for 110 bucks. Okay, paddle valves, which is old school, guys. This is super old school stuff. Paddle valves, I think four of them. I think it was like a $40. It's like $40 for that. Airline, if you can find a Parker Hose, there's a place called Parker Hose. They sell airline there for trucks. It's called Air Brake Line. Um, Miguel, give me a minute, okay? Air brake line. You're gonna need about 30 to 40 feet of that. No, actually, because you're doing four, you're gonna need about 100 feet of that. That probably run you about 50, $60, honestly. Okay, and then I would do Raceline airbags. I freaking love mine still to death. I still have them on my car, over a year old, and I love them. That's $1,000 there. And then an air compressor. You can go dual or single. You're still within budget. You can do dual or single air compressors, and that'll run you kit because that'll give you the wiring and everything you need. Uh, I think about 250 bucks. So that puts you a little about $1,500 um, for bags and all the everything that you need. Almost everything. You're gonna need a dual needle gauge setup for left and right, and then front and back, left and right. That way you can see the PSI. But they're dual needle, so you're gonna cram in two airlines, and that'll tell you how much pressure per bag is in there. That's the most budget system you can build, way under $2,000 shipped, um, and it'll ride great as long as you know what you're doing. You can do it. For Miguel and Old Iron Plymouth Quincy Joe, hit up Trent Smith from Boost Dynamic Tuning. He does tunes for Mark Fives, Mark Fours, pretty much anything Volkswagen in general. He does it, and Audi. Hit him up. Tell him I sent you. He will take care of you. Awesome, awesome dude. Super, super chill and phenomenal customer service. He will help you everything you need to do. If you want it aggressive, mild, or just daily. Hey, look, AC 130. Yes, I do lots of car audio stuff. Oh yeah. Um, Give me a second here, and I can show you what we're building, putting in my wife's car. Um, well, I can't. It's covered in all that junk. Here, give me a second. Hold on. Forgot my drink. Yeah, banging. There's a big difference from $2,000 and $2,800. Just so you know, it's a $800 difference. So he's like 1,500 to 2,000. Um, and by the time you actually buy that kit, you're actually around 3,200 when you're done. Just so you know, they're not that cheap, especially for AccuAir. I'm not a fan. I've had nothing but problems with AccuAir systems. Every person that I've ever met that's had AccuAir has hated it. I'm like I said, I'm not against them. It's just from my personal experience, and I think now I'm down to 5 cars that I've done 3 installs on, and I never again will do it. And 2 of them that I had to diagnose and fix because nothing but problems. Um, Maybe it's just my luck, but every person that's owned an airlift suspension that I've ever met, including mine, that mine went through a fire hose when my car caught on fire, and it still works to this date. Just so you know, you know the air suspension that's in my car right now, besides the bags, but the management survived it being doused through the fire department without a single hiccup. That says right there something, you know. But I also am using the Airlift V2, which is like the most bulletproof air suspension ever made. Like, honestly, I think it's the best air suspension that Airlift has ever made. It's phenomenal. Their new stuff, eh, it's random. So for who is it? For Miguel again. Oh no, not Miguel. Jeez, I just lost him. Oh, I'm gonna go back to answer one more question for Paul. Hopefully, you're still here. Um, I'm gonna be doing the pretty much the timing belt job. Since you're there and taking that stuff out, pull the intake manifold off, put a new gasket on it. Um, do the valve cover gasket. If you got time or if you have patience to do it, do the half moon seal on the cam chain tensioner. Super common leaky place. Um, let's see what else is there while you're there. Since all that's going to be out too, fix all your hoses and the if you have the factory stuff, do all your hoses. Pretty much that's it, Paul. Hopefully that works out for you. Oh, I want to play Metro Exodus so bad. I still haven't even finished the first Metro 20, the first Metro. I'm halfway through it, but I've been playing a lot of Anthem. So, favorite MK2 swap? Go. Kevin Traverse. Guess what? 1.8T. You asked the wrong guy because I'm going to answer immediately. 1.8T. Why? Fuel efficiency, power, and cheap. It's as easy as it gets. Don't get me wrong. VR6, phenomenal. Yep, 20 valve. VR6, phenomenal. I'll do it in a heartbeat. But any engine that I swap over from one car to another, I'm going to rebuild that engine because I want that car to last me 5, 10 years before I have to worry about it again. Leon Lenny got the camping and chilling print in the mail the other day. Thanks again. I installed the phenolic spacer recently. What do you think about those? What is? Oh, no. That's the. Oh, for Leon. Uh, for Leon. Hopefully you enjoyed the photo and hopefully you enjoyed the other stuff I sent with it. I'm very sorry that it took so long to get to you, sir. But I definitely appreciate the business, and I actually got more pictures coming, and I'm actually gonna finish all the editing because we're gonna be doing some prints for a lot of people. So thank you again, Leon, and for the spacer, the intake manifold spacer is what we call that, the non-technical term. If anybody else is listening, that spacer is phenomenal for normal temperature days, like a 70, 80-degree day. Once you go over that, it's useless afterwards because obviously the temperature will migrate over to the intake manifold and create that temperature issue. Um, it's the only downside to that spacer for what I think $75. They're pretty expensive. They're not very cheap. Um, the beauty though about that spacer, it's a reusable gasket. Phenomenal, easy. Never buy again gasket. Pretty much. Um, oh, cool. $60. They've dropped in price. Let's see. LOL. So I broke a line on my N249. Everyone thinks I'm trying to race. Yeah, because it's like you can hear it. Shh. Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. Car audio. It's like, where do you want? Do you want it extremely loud and heavy, or you just want it mild? Because you can't get in between. I'm a freaking bass head, and I got 410s right now. I'm building a box for 412s, and I'm just like, I don't know what I want to do. I use zero gauge all the way down until I get to my amps, and then I just go to two gauge for my amps. Yep, that's pretty much what you want to use. Zero and two. That's insane, but yeah, it's I love it. I love a car audio, man. I'm getting ready to do some. I'm gonna buy a new Kickers Van Gogh or something like that. Kickers Van Gogh DSP. I freaking want that set up so bad, and it's Bluetooth like controlled, 32 band equalizer, full on 9-volt pre-outs, 12-volt powered. It's oh my god, oh I want that thing so bad. It's giant too. It's like this big old freaking DSP. Oh, what's going on, Brian? Um, hell yeah, dude. If you're gonna mount an 8-inch sub to the deck, uh, ooh, that's gonna be a hard one. You're gonna probably build a custom deck cover. Are you gonna do like an infinite baffle? I don't know. Personally, I would if you want to put an 8-inch or a 10-inch sub in your car, build it into the rear, the left, the driver's side quarter panel. There's a big empty space there. You can build a nice box, and it'll be great. And it'll sound good. I mean, it won't be super loud, but it'll sound good. That's like the most basic setup you can do, besides just putting a cube in there and put a sub and call it a day. Which, no, that's like super basic. For banging, how do you add an amp to your factory radio? Good question. Very simple. you want to get something called a line out converter. And what that does, you can use the rear speakers for this, the rear door core panel. It depends if it's a Jetta or a GTI. If it's a GTI, it's even easier because you take the side door panel off, and you can get what they call. No, I wouldn't use the pins off of that. You want to use it out of one of the speakers. Um, that one will give you a line out converter, which will convert pretty much the audio into an analog signal. If you got the extra cheese, get a powered one. It will drop the amount of noise frequencies to the amp to give you a cleaner sound. Those units usually run around $75 to $100, but it is worth the upgrade if you want a quality, clean sound going to your sub instead of just static and you're increasing static noise by going to your amp. Line out converters are phenomenal. Yeah, just make sure that it has um, it's a powered line out. A lot of them will get power from the speaker, but since that speaker doesn't give you constant voltage all the time, it goes up and down in sound quality. And usually the ones that are powered will have a better ground loop isolator, so you don't make as much noise going to your amp. Um, it's worth it, to guarantee me. Um, yeah, then you're fine, dude. Just use a line, like I said, use a line out converter, and you'll be fine. Just make sure it's powered. And I don't know the ones that we sell at Best Buy. I haven't bought one in a long time, since I just run my own wires and I don't ever use the factory stuff. But that's the only way you can get around it if you don't want to mess with the factory radio, especially on the newer cars, the really new ones. You only can do it that way, unless you can find an aftermarket factory radio. I know it's kind of a weird thing to say, but they do make aftermarket radios that are meant for the factory wire harness, and that way you can get RCA cables to come out to give you a much better high end sound. Hey, look, AC 130. Thank you again for tuning in on this fun live session. I'm always glad that anybody can come in and you have yourself a good night as well. I'm about to log off in a couple more minutes. Um, so since I think I answered mostly everybody's questions, I'm gonna get back to Pinchiao's Garage, and for you guys that are tuning in, some more information about what's going on for season 6. Okay, season 6 is starting next month. Okay, we're gonna have a launch party on YouTube. We're gonna have a live video sessions and stuff like that. What's going on, Wayne? Wayne, I saw you got your turbo kit, buddy. I saw it. Yeah, man. Um, so back to what we were talking about. Um, so season 6, we're gonna have a live little session. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna watch one of my videos and my intro. And yes, I have a lot of teasers, man. I don't want to give you guys that much information, but it's gonna be an awesome year. Definitely awesome. Okay, Brian, I'll do the best I can to answer them. Okay. Um, but I know you guys are also wondering about the contest. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit more information about the contest. Number one, um, it's a Mark IV specific contest. Again, obviously. Um, and what the contest entails is the R line rear bumper, R32 front bumper, aka Bora R bumper, GLI side skirts, GTI Eco headlights, um, Eco headlights, GTI headlights. I'm also going to be giving a set of Mark IV smoke tail lights, Jetta tail lights. I'm trying to get a set of GTI tail lights. I'm not sure yet. What else do we have? Oh, my set of Radiate wheels, complete set of wheels with tires. And I'm hoping, I think I should be having the answer this week, a set of SolarWorks coilovers as well. So this is hands down the most complete kit you can get your car looking ready for show season or just ready for the world. All you gotta do is paint it. All you gotta do is install it and then paint it. That's it. I think that's a pretty good deal. So after talking to everybody on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and everybody does agree, we're doing 1,000 entries for this kit. It's over $2,000 in value. Phenomenal, and they're large parts, guys. Okay, and I will be paying for shipping. Okay, shipping is already included. Okay, so shipping full set. Okay, we're gonna be doing all. I'm gonna be posting as always, keeping everybody updated. This is going to start. What day is it? What day? What day? Oh, Monday, April 1st. April 1st. April Fools. I'm not gonna fool you guys though. It's gonna be legit. This is not a joke. It will be legit. Okay. We will start on April 1st for everybody to enter in the contest. Okay. For banging, it's gonna be for a Jetta or a GTI. It's your guys' choice. Doesn't matter doesn't matter which car you go with. It's Jetta or GTI. Okay. So you can pick which body parts you want. That's how dope this contest is going to be. It's going to be exactly for your vehicle. Okay. So that part is already a win. Um, Now we're doing, like I said, 1,000 entries for this contest. And the way that's going to work, anything you buy on Pinche Al's online store counts as one entry. So if you buy a pop socket, if you buy a valve cover, or not valve cover, anything, just buy anything, stickers, T-shirts, anything that I make on there, um, you will count as one entry per item. So if you buy 5 different items, you get 5 entries. Pretty simple. Okay. I don't know how much easier it can get, but that's as easy as it gets for you guys. Okay. So the body parts will work from any Mark IV 99 to 2005. So who cares about the year? No one cares. But it has to be a GTI or a Jetta. That's it. Okay? Doesn't matter if it's a GLI or a VR6 or a 1.8 or a 2-point slow. It's all included. They all work. If it has a Ford, you're not even in the same group. Go to the Ford pages. Correct, banging. It only how many items you get per transaction. That's it. Just like before, we did the same thing before. If you bought 15 stickers, you got 15 entries. Simple. Okay. Now, a lot of people did complain about the shipping cost. I'm sorry, but you guys do not understand how shipping works or how much it costs me. You'd be surprised when people order. Well, let's see. That's a good example here. There we go. See this right here. This is like my pop socket cover, right? Pop socket. This right here, 2 of them for $5. It cost me $3 to ship this. Why? I can't ship it in a normal envelope because it doesn't lay flat or it's not a flat surface. So it won't let me ship it through that. And that would have cost me only 60 cents to $1. Pretty simple. But I have to ship it now in a bubbler mailer. And that costs $1 for the mailer and it costs $2 to ship it. Hence the cost of $3. Now, the big problem is when you add more items to your to your shipment. I am working with every individual order, and you guys should be. I don't know if you guys were there, but every order, my wife and I inspected them. So, say if you did like a 20 something item order, I ended up shipping more items to you guys just because I compensated for shipping. Okay. So that's why you probably, all you guys with the big orders got extra stuff in your order. Okay. So I shipped you either a t shirt or more stickers. Yes, all your stuff mailed out. It should be here this week. Should either be here tomorrow or the day after, Wayne, just so you know, all your other stuff. Um, and that's why I added more stickers. I even added some of my 3D prints just to compensate the difference on shipping because I had to use a different shipment method. And since it didn't cost much more or anything more to add more products to your stuff, I just did it to compensate the difference in cost. So when a lot of people were complaining about shipping, I took care of you the best I could in the smartest way I could. Um, Without compensating. It cost me money, but um, but it was worth it. I think for you guys that got in and you guys got more stuff in it, I took care of you. I took care of you, and it's gonna go the same way when you guys do this next contest. We're gonna inspect every single order one at a time, and we're gonna make sure you guys get what you pay for. I'm not here to rip anybody off, but I'm also here to make money. I'm sorry and not sorry at the same time. I am trying to make some cash so I can do some of the stuff that we do together. So the goal is both ways for both of us to succeed and get what we want. Obviously, you guys are gonna want the wheels and the bumpers and all that, but it's not like your typical raffle where you just buy a piece of paper and then if you don't win, paper's gone. No, you're still getting something out of it. So it's a win-win on everybody's part. Just so you guys know, there's no loss. So I hope everybody understands what I'm talking about, and I hope everybody gets the point. You see that, huh? You see the head back there? That's the head I'm building currently. Yep, that's all season 6 stuff. However, there's already a head built from season 5, but season 6 actually has that head, and I actually have another one that I'm building as well. So yes, there's a lot of stuff coming for next season. It's just I ran out of some funds right now that we're supposed to prioritize the engine build, but we ended up prioritizing the body on the Mark II now because I need that car done. Since you're using an AAB head, get an integrated engineering intake manifold. Uh, they're pricey, but it's what you get. You get what you pay for. Simple as that. Um, if you can definitely don't buy a ABD, the ABD intake manifold. They suck for big turbos. They're great for like smaller turbos, but once you go to a larger flowing turbo, they don't work as well. Another good intake manifold is O34. O34 Motorsports intake manifold is about $600, and then I would not touch an OBX Chinesium garbage thing. I never heard anything positive about them, so I don't recommend them. I've seen a bunch of people rock them. I don't know if there's actually real gains or not. It's up to you. That's like $300. I mean, it's worth a try, but it's $300 gone. For banging, you'd pass on the wheels, but guess what? It's a part of the contest. And I want everybody, I don't know yet, but you'll figure it out. I mean, if you win it, just sell the wheels, make some extra cash. For Leon Lanning, I I read that O3 or AWP 1.8Ts had forged internals. True or false? Ah, Wayne, step back on that. They're true, but they're not fully forged. The rods are cast. The pistons are forged, actually forged aluminum. They're just not as strong. Um, so it's kind of a half and half situation. Um, but best case scenario here, just so you guys know, for Leon Lanning's question, it's kind of like centered. What exactly? They don't hold as much power. They're good for about 300 pounds of torque, 310 pounds of torque, and then they just bend like accordions. Um, your best option is some integrated engineering rods. I'm actually going to give a big shout out to somebody. Give me just a second. Got something here. Got to give a big shout out to TLCT Motorworks. Sold me a set of integrated engineering rods. They are not rifle drilled. That's the only downside to this. They're not rifle drilled, but for 250 bucks, no brainer for drop in forge, i.e., rods. Phenomenal rod. Um, the guy posted them on Instagram, on Facebook. Didn't even take me 2 minutes to buy them. $500 rods for 280 bucks for half price, pretty much. With ARP hardware, phenomenal. These rods are pretty much the best rods you can buy. Yeah, rod. Yeah, wait. No, these are going in my wife's car. um, best rods you can buy. Brand new, they're like 450 shipped. I think they're 500 bucks. No, they're not being sold. They make you can make 600 wheel horsepower and not break these freaking rods at all. They're designed to withstand a beating. What's dope? These are the 19 millimeter wrist pins, so these fit factory pistons. So you don't need to do. You don't need pretty much anything else. Factory pistons on a Mark IV hold up to 500 horsepower with no problems. So these are phenomenal. These are drop-in rods, everyone. You get them from Integrated Engineering Online. These rods, like I said, you use the factory piston, and you're good. You're good for up to 500 wheel horse, dude. Uh, the factory pistons are phenomenal. If you're not trying to make that much power, that's all. That's it. You buy those two things, you're done for your build pretty much. Just buy some bearings, new wrist pins, and you're set. You're set to go. Pretty straightforward, and piston rings, obviously, and you got a whole build. Not hard, not hard at all. All right, so banging. What's forged on the actual motor, the pistons are pretty much the only thing. That's it. Everything else is cast. Ba, ba, ba. Yeah, rifle drill rods are the best option if you're trying to daily the crap out of the car. For zero, yes, I have the plastic coolant flanges on my car. I don't have the metal ones. Don't have that much. I didn't have much money during the build, but I want to upgrade to the metal ones. For banging, what's the benefit for having them rifle drilled? Very simple. I'll give you. Actually, can tell you right here. Um, so here you'll see there's an oil passage on both sides right here, and then when they have them rifle drilled, you'll see where my finger is. They're supposed to have a hole right there. That hole goes from here all the way down to here. Okay, the oil that circulates through here gets pushed through. So what that does, it extends the life of pretty much the lower bearings and the wrist pins. They get so much more oil. You have more lubrication, so um, it just extends the life of the rod itself. That's all it's for, having a rifle drilled. Um, so if you drive the car very hard, there's constant oil going to places that need oil, especially the parts that get really hot. That is the benefit of rifle drilling. Where did I get the rods? I bought them from a guy, but they were used. Just so you guys know, they're rate cheats. They were used rods. That's why I pay so less for them. But used rods are fine. You just got to put new bearings in them. That's it. Leon Lanning, stock crank is good for at 500, I guess. No, stock crank is good for God knows how much. Crank doesn't matter. You got to understand, it's not the crank that has the problems. It's actually the body, the actual block itself. When you have high torque, the body actually will twist and warp. So what you use, yes, Leon, they're used rods. Don't worry about it. You can buy used rods all day. Don't buy used pistons because then you got to mic it. It's a weird process, but it's different. Rods are okay. You got less than 2,000 miles on them. I'm happy with that. For Leon Lanning, stock crank. There's a guy, I forgot the name of the guy, Mario or something like that. 800 horsepower, 1.8 T on a stock crank all day. It's the body because you got to keep in mind where the crank spins. It's just spin. It's just doing its job spinning. The issue is the flex, and when you have that much flex, um, you cause vibrations, and um, they cause a lot of vibration, and that will cause the pretty much the crank to actually just fail. Um, so rods, I mean not rods, I mean the cranks can hold gobs amount of power. Most people, the only time you change the crank out is because they're going to a different stroke. They want to decrease pretty much compression to increase more performance. Yeah, dude. If you could buy because rifle drill is like an extra $50 per rod, so that's a killer deal. But they're 20 millimeter wrist pins. That means you have to upgrade your pistons. Just so you know, you can't use factory pistons anymore. MK5s are dope. Just gotta make sure you get 2008 or newer. You want the TSI engine. You don't want the FSI engine. Just so you know, for zero. For Brian, yeah, I know they have them on there, but exactly, Test Show Boy. You need a supporting girdle. The whole point of that supporting girdle is because the chassis itself, the block itself, is flexing. For Wayne, what are you trying to do, Wayne, with that turbo kit? Because that turbo kit, like I said, is good for 300 to 350 horsepower, probably even more depending on fueling style. Um, if you're trying to like say on 350, all you need is just rods. Use the factory pistons and just upgrade the replace the rings on it, and the bearings on the. That's it, pretty much. There's not much to do. Now, if you're trying to make more power out of that engine, cams, just any street cam with a bigger intake manifold will get you an extra 20 to 30 horsepower, depending on the tune. Um, try to think. Stick with the stock pistons again. Stick with the stick and just get integrated engineering. Drop in rods. Don't need to change the bore size or anything. Now, if you're trying to stroke out the turbo, I mean not stroke out the turbo, stroke out the block, buy integrated engineering's True Leader Stroker kit. It's a full kit with everything you need, and that will make you the 400 horsepower because that'll make you a 2 liter block pretty much, and that will give you what you want and insanely fast spool. Ridiculous because you're going to 2 liter. So just so you know. Any other questions, guys? Yeah, I mean, do a stroker kit and cams and call it a day. That's 400 wheel all day, dude. The only downside is you got to make sure you might get your block machined and mic'd to the millimeter of the pistons that you need to add to it. Because if you don't, when you buy your kit, you buy the pistons. Don't buy the rings. If it comes with piston rings, before you buy the kit, your machine shop has to tell you your engine bore size so you can match your bore size and your piston rings to that work that's been done to the block. If not, you're gonna end up buying that stuff twice. Okay, Wayne. So your machine shop should be giving you all the advice you need to buy the correct size for everything. You guys have any other questions, man? I'm here to ask. No, no, they won't tell you that. IE's job is to sell you the stuff that they make. Um, so what you need to do is it's your machine shop, okay, Wayne? Your machine shop should already board out the block, or you're going to go send it to a machine shop to bore the block and have the block machined properly, and they will give you the specifications to what you want. Or if you're going to go oversize, then you buy your oversized kit, okay? So when you go to your 2 liter, you have the option to buying larger pistons. If you buy larger pistons, you buy the matching piston rings for that, okay? You take it to the machine shop and be like, hey, this is what I have. Match my block to what I have because your block is already at stock specifications. So, which means all they got to do is cut it open to match what you have. So, both ways is one way. Well, you can go one or the other way. It depends on what your machine shop is willing to do. Some machine shops won't go that far. They're just going to be like, oh, yeah, just here, let me just bore this and call it a day. Be careful. A good machine shop will ask you for the parts before they cut anything oversized. If you're going to stock specifications, then they're going to only bore, not bone, but hone the piston. They're going to mic the cylinder bore, and then they're going to mic the bore, make sure nothing's out of round, make sure everything's true to factory spec. Is nothing changes when they're going through it, and then they hone it, and then they check the measurements, and nothing's changed drastically. They're going to be like, all right, factory piston rings are fine. You just got to run it this hard to get it to set. Call it a day. But if you're going to go a larger piston, that means you need to give them the whole set because they got to mount everything to the crank and mount it inside the piston so they can check for clearances and tolerances as well. So there's a much longer process that way if you got to go to a bigger option. So you're gonna have to talk to your machine shop, okay, Wayne? So Zero, where do KO4s come from? They come from the Cupras. Okay, they come from Cupra. They're a European turbo. We never got those in the US. Where does see? So those clamps on my N249. I'm not trying to snap the nipple off, trying to fix the lines on any suggestions. Oh man. Yep. What Leon is saying. Cut them off. If they break, just if they break, what's the word? Just patch them up and cut them. I usually just cut them and I make my own stuff for it. I honestly do. I know which ones you're talking about, banging. Um, um, for another question, Zero. For another version, there's another KO4 that you can get here in the United States. From a car, the Audi TT 225. Just look that up. It's the Quattro Audi TT. They have the KO4 022, which is the much bigger version of the KO4. It's the big brother, actually. That turbo actually makes really good power, just so you know. For Tesho Boy, 400 horsepower drop in rods, new bearings, stock all around, and GT30. Yep, that way you don't have to do a stroker or anything like that. But Tesh Boy Wayne won the GT28 turbo kit. So to get 400 horsepower out of a GT28, he has to go stroke because or E85, which will push the car pretty close to its limits on certain things, but not everything. But there's different ways to get to 400 with the GT28. A GT30, completely different story. Phenomenal turbo, tons of power, um, and you can make it easy with the GT30. It's a big turbo. I mean, it's a very big turbo, so that makes a lot of power. And it also depends on which version of the GT30. There's so many different versions of the GT30s. So, let's see. Any other questions? If not, again, April 1st. Don't mind the fact that it's April Fool's. I'm not going to fool you guys. It's legitimate, it's real. It's a new contest and season 6. Exactly. Yeah, no, I understand if I had a choice on turbo, a GT30, GT30 or GT37. My first Mark IV was actually a GT37X. Freaking beast. Oh my god, god, I love that turbo. Uh yeah, I would do ARP studs. Do not do the ARP bolts. Do not do that. Don't ever use the bolts. They suck. I'm not a fan of the bolts. I'm prefer um prefer the studs way more. For Leon Lanning, Might need a trans soon. Any junkyard tips? Yeah. Oh yeah, I got lots of junkyard tips. Number one, um, bring yourself an impact gun and an axle socket, and that way you can spin the transmission, and then you can put it in first and second gear and make sure none of the gears pop out. Just a quick pointer, just so you know. Yeah, I know the GTA GTX 28 is probably the best all around fun turbo. Big turbo. Correction. Best all around big turbo. I love that turbo so much. It's such a great it's literally level 1 big turbo, but it has so much potential. The GT30, aka the other version is the Precision 62, 66, like around the same performance, even better. 62, 66 makes more power, but I'm gonna say like in the same ball game, that's like kind of like a level 3 turbo from a GT28 to GT30. GT37, level 100, whew, Gigantor makes power, but way different scenario. It's way different. Yeah, ARP studs are like a requirement period. You cannot use factory studs anymore. Best impact for the money, hit up Harbor Freight and buy their, like, I think it's like $150 or $200 for their like 400 or 600 torque electric impact. Freaking love it, man. I love that battery. The cordless one. Very I took I was able to cram in a socket and hammer it into the wheel locks and popped right off. Best bang for the buck I ever had. I found, believe it or not, guys, I found a set of freaking I found a set of 3-piece BBSs at a junkyard, but the every single wheel had wheel locks. So I bought 4 freaking sockets and my Harbor Freight impact gun, 3 pound freaking sledge, whack, wonk, whack every wheel, wonk. Got myself a set of 16s, 3-piece BBS RSs, and they were 5x100. Super, super hard to find. Sold them for 2,000. I sold them for I think $1,200. Paid like $300 for them too. Well, Wayne, you don't need pistons, okay? Unless you're trying to make more than 400 horsepower, you don't need pistons. You can use stock pistons. Stock pistons are good for 500 horsepower. Okay, the GT. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. The Earthquake. It's an Earthquake something. It's the red one. It's red. That's how I know it's their brand. But an electric impact is a must-have at the junkyards. Just because if you bring some extra cash and you're like, oh yeah, there's some dope wheels, take them. Yeah, dude, don't worry about the pistons, man. If you're not gonna go over 500 wheel, don't worry about it. Whew. Excuse me, guys. But any other questions? I got some. I got a couple more minutes left. If not, I'm gonna go play some Anthem. Yes, rods are the weak point on any 1.8T engine. That's for sure. Stock, stock 1.8T. Ooh, man, yawning a lot. Sorry, guys. But do you guys have any other questions before I call it quits? uh, for the AB head, the only thing I would swap out if you want to save on some cash is the exhaust valves. Get SuperTech or Ferrera exhaust valves. When you go over 300 horsepower, they tend to get really, really hot, and you can burn out factory exhaust valves. They'll actually warp. So your better option is to get SuperTech at least exhaust valves. Intake, don't worry, you're good for a while. But the exhaust valves for sure. Banging, that's correct. Cams really don't do much of a difference unless you're number one, you're big turbo, or you're trying to go over 400 horsepower. What's up? Huh? Not for a while. Did you need anything? Hmm? Okay. Yeah. Play some Anthem. Yeah, dude. Wayne, if you want to give you a good list of parts, hit me up later, and I can give you. No, I'm not a big fan of battle royale games. I like RPG type games. For Tesho Boy, that is correct. If you want to make more power, but remember he's running a GT 28 Tesho Boy, so it's really not going to make more than 400 on that turbo, unless he wants the turbo to explode. But if he's planning on making more than that, then it's a different story. Just so you know, Tesha Boy, he already has the GT 28. So, you know, it's like, oh, buy a different turbo, but he already got a turbo. So it's like, I don't have much more money, you know? Oh, yeah, VR6, cammed, misfiring, or anything sounds great, period. Me personally, for Tesha Boy and Wayne, since you already got all the turbo stuff you need, um, all he's really going to need, like I said, is rods, new bearings, new piston rings, and I think if you want to save on costs, is exhaust valves and obviously the machine work, and that's it. That's all you're gonna need for that block, dude. And you'll save yourself actually a couple hundred, actually maybe a couple grand. Honestly, you can fork out the money more on maybe a better clutch and flywheel setup, or maybe fueling. Fueling is a big thing because you need to upgrade your fuel pump, and you got to get fuel injectors for that setup too. So just so you know. Well, wait, it's not cheaping out, okay? It's not about being cheap. It's being what do you want? Where do you want to be in your situation? Like, what is your entire goal for power? Now, if you're trying to go, 400 and maybe down the road, I want to add another 200 or another 50, another 100, then, then buy the intake valves and then you're done. Honestly, you're good with rods and your factory pistons, just aftermarket rods, factory pistons, do the head work, and then you got nothing to worry about after that. Honestly, you don't. Not until you hit 500. Wayne stickers haven't gotten there yet. Actually, he got a box full of stickers, a bunch of other fun stuff too. So, any other questions though? Well, for Tesho Boy, one thing about drivability: did you put the money in the transmission? Because the front wheel drive with 600 horsepower with a proper transmission is phenomenal. That's, it does make a huge difference when you get a really good transmission put together and legit suspension. I've seen 800 horsepower freaking VRTs drive like it's driving a 100 horsepower car, like with no problems. But again, did you put the money into the suspension? Did you put the money into transmission? Like crazy transmission work? I don't know. There's a lot of things you got to get involved when you get into big turbo stuff or high horsepower stuff. You've got to. There's a lot of other things you got to figure out. The alignment dowels shouldn't be pulled out. Why would you want to pull those out? Honestly, I don't even know if you can pull those out. I don't know. So would it be worth it to go short shifter, rebuild it? Well, it depends. What are you trying to do? Like, do you want like a transmission short shifter? Depends. If it's a 5 speed, you can put the shifter pendulum and drop your shifter by 20 to 25%. Um, yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, every car is definitely different, and every car does have a different driving style. That's for sure. Quattro versus front wheel drive. I mean, but remember, you can have a high horsepower car and be slow as heck, and a car with a lower horsepower be extremely fast with front wheel drive. It's really a matter of how the power kicks in, obviously, and how smooth is your power band. If your power band just goes and then flattens out, yeah, you're gonna end up going straight. Yeah, so it depends. Every car, every car built that you guys build is built for one specific task or maybe multi-purpose. Every car is different, so I definitely do. If you're gonna go drag, yeah, obviously you want as much power as you can, gigantic tires, and go straight. My car was built for roads, so that's why I didn't go crazy high horsepower. 400, I left it alone, and I got proper tires when I actually go out driving, and I drive. I keep up and destroy Evos on the turns. No problem. Subarus, garbage cars, you know, and all of them, oh, you got a front wheel drive Golf. And you'll see what happens, you know? And I'm on bags, which pisses them off so much. I like to drive my car. Don't get me wrong. Everybody has a different thing. Everyone, drag racing is freaking awesome. I have nothing against drag racing. Like I said, I'm a guy who likes to drive around and just have fun. Awesome, Tesha boy. Awesome. Hell yeah, Wayne. Bags. I love bags. I'm a big bag guy. I love bags. All right. I'm getting tired. And I'm probably not going to play Anthem. I got to be up early now. Damn it. Um, for L00N1X, what's the next build? The Mark II, bro. The Mark II is the next build. It's actually the current build. I've actually fell behind on it because of the my situations. I had some problems with money, and then time, and then my car catching on fire. All the money I had for the Mark II went to that. It's just been up and down, up and down, up and down. But so that is one thing I tell people. Um, it is here, and it's here to stay. The Mark II is going to be done this year, and the Corrado is the other car at the same time. I'm actually working on both cars at the same time. Actually, anything I do on the Mark II, I copy on the Corrado because they're identical cars technically in the engine bay, besides the back. Um, and the drivetrain. The drivetrain is actually identical in the Mark II. So, but besides that, though, yes, the Corrado is the big thing this year. Plus my Mark II. The Mark II's actually was on a delay for paint. Same with the Corrado. Again, guys, funds were pretty bad, so we had to wait until we got the um, wait until I got some extra money so I can actually get the Mark II and the Corrado painted. The Corrado, I'm not paying for. There's a SolarWorks is paying for that. It's just a car that I'm building for SolarWorks to give away on my channel. That freaking dope. You guys gotta love SolarWorks for that, FYI. But I'm gonna call it a night. I've been on here for an hour and 47 minutes talking with you guys, and I've had a lot of fun. And thanks again for being a part of this, because we only got what, I think, less than 2 weeks. Yeah, yeah, less than 2 weeks, and season 6 will be here. So thank you everyone for being a part of this awesome channel and being a part of my life, actually, because I talk to you guys all the time and I appreciate it. And I appreciate your guys' advice and information and feedback. Oh my God, do I love your guys' feedback? I comment all the time, all the time. Thanks again. Don't forget to follow my Instagram, Friends of Fast, one word. Follow me on Snapchat. Follow me on Facebook. I'm always posting all the time. All right. Thank you. Have a good night. Peace, love, and happiness. And if you see another dubber on the road, don't be embarrassed or shy. Give them a thumbs up. And if they hate you for it, give them the bird. Either way, love them. And again, drive safe. And as always, break, fix, and repeat.